lots and lots of SEOs contact me all the time about, I just can't get my pages indexed, and
Yeah,
even when they try tools and they just can't get them indexed. And
right,
well,
right.
honestly, probably most of the time they shouldn't be indexed, but
Right, right. This is true. I think that's the other thing. It's like I've definitely I've talked about this case study before. But indexing is not, it's not a right. I think people have to remember, like, it's not a right. You don't, Google doesn't owe you indexing. So you kind of have to show them that the pages are worth indexing, and you also have to make sure that they're worth indexing. I had a client who at one point was indexing loads of their, so they had a login thing for, it was an e-commerce site, and you went to this page and you logged in your account, and then you got an account page. All those account pages, it didn't have any personally identifiable information, but all those account pages were indexable. And all of them were like crawlable and stuff. And I was like, no, like, shut it down, shut it down. Because basically, they were saying, oh, we're not getting indexed, we're not getting indexed. It's like, well, you're wasting their time over here. You're wasting their time with thousands and thousands and thousands of these indexable pages. Those don't need to be indexed at all. Take them off of the index. They don't need to be searched at all. So take them all off. And so we did that, and we moved around a few other things as well. But absolutely, one of the things when people talk about, indexing trouble, is the first thing I do is clean up the crawl. One of the other things that we see is that sometimes there was one, and the last time I checked this particular CMS, I'm not going to name it, it was not Wix, but it was a different CMS. I won't name names because we keep it classy here, but they were creating essentially a product feed for everything that had a category page. And so if there was one product in it, it was making a whole feed for it. And if you had made a category page for it and then you didn't have products in it, it still had a feed in it, and the feed was crawlable. So one of the things you can do is go through and see which feeds are active, which feeds are not active. And if there's no products in there, if you don't even sell that anymore, get rid of that page. You don't need it. So cleaning up your crawl is super important to indexing, and it shows willing. It shows, so because if Google's crawling your site, and I talk about this, there's a video I have with Martin Split with Google, talking about like a crawling issue that we had with redirect chains, where it was just like redirecting to a redirect to a redirect to a it's awful. But if Google is coming to your site and they're seeing that, like, oh, this is broken, or this page is useless, or this doesn't work, like, eventually they'll just give up. So if you want your pages to be indexed, you have to show them that, you've spent time making sure that things are indexable, or that the indexable pages are things that they actually should and want to see. So yeah, I think it's definitely a challenge that people have, but it's worth investing some time in understanding what works and what doesn't work in terms of indexability, because you can't rank if you're not indexed, and it's really important to make sure that you cover that.